Hey guys, Donat here once again. This ought to be an update on the gold find helms, but the news are just in. Patch 1.0.5 has been finally announced. Oh yeah! In the US, servers will go down tonight, and in the EU shortly after, tomorrow morning. Now this means of course that you have up until then to sell all your items you stocked up on for reselling. It will be quite a rush, so be generous with discounts on anything but top tier items. I have to sell a ton myself, so I will start with that just right after I made this video. Now all of that said, let me still give an update on what I did since the first receipt was released. Maybe it will help you in the future, or maybe you can even make a quick buck tonight before the servers go down. Honestly, however, I would advise you to stop buying as from now, as the prices will fall while everybody is dumping their items on the auction house, hoping to sell before the patch hits. So about those gold find helms. To be honest, I have been eventually sticking to this method since I made that video, because it still works so well. Since then, I made over 100 million gold with these helms, not too shabby. Now of course I had to make some changes in the meantime, but we are here to discuss them together. For those who did not see the original video, the basic idea is that we focus on non-class specific gold find helms for buying and reselling. The bare minimum that they have to have are 20% gold find and a socket. Now since the last video, the prices have gone over the roof, and there was a time when there was nothing below 1 million, even with the most rubbish stats. Since the last week, however, there are again cheaper items listed as well, sometimes down to 500k. Regardless of the price range, however, there are many underpriced helms out there up for grab. Probably one of the reasons for this is that many people do not check the current prices before they sell. That's a huge mistake, as the price that was right last week might be completely off by next week. In general, looking for items on a buyout basis has been quite good for me recently, and these days I buy my helms mostly like this. This is also due to the fact that bidding for underpriced items is not as good anymore, or rather to say, you have to approach it differently. Since the video, I have felt that the prices get pushed up too much for a lot of helms for them to be good enough for me to bid on them. Or better to say, this is the case for the rubbish and or low-cost helms. What I realized, however, was that there is usually a cap of the maximum bid amounts around 1 million. I guess this is the threshold for many, and they try to get the items below this limit. Stupid thing is, they do not seem to consider the item's actual value a lot of times, so I can still get a lot of items at 1.1, 1.2 million that I can then sell around 2 million. Due to these changes, I have completely eliminated the rubbish helms from my portfolio, including most helms with intelligence on them. I am now focusing almost exclusively on helms with dexterity and strength, especially if they have vitality and or resist on them too. I try to get these around 1 to 1.5 million and can sell them around 2 to 3.5 million depending on their stats and actual value. Good thing about this is that the profit margin is higher, so you do not need that many items to gather quite a nice amount. And let me tell you, you will need that gold to build a high-end character. I just made my final gearing plans for my wizard, and the final bill is somewhere around 700 million, not even considering some extra expensive items I will shoot for last. As a last remark, let me just remind you to keep your eyes peeled for good items during the prime time on your server. There are some pretty sweet deals to be had, and it's quite funny as well when you start to see all those cheap items hitting the market when the time comes. I hope this little update will help you get back on track with those naughty gold find helms. I will make another update once the new patch hits, but of course the main focus will be to give you further receipts. I'm also thinking about doing a bit of a spin-off in other languages about the auction house strategies that we discuss here in English. This would be made next to the usual content, giving you sort of a summary about all the auction house strategies and recipes that we discuss. I can make them in Hungarian and in German if this is something you would be interested in, so do let me know. In either case, this will not influence the usual content whatsoever. The next video will be an update on the Act 1 farming routes. As with the new monster power system, you are not limited to running Act 3 exclusively anymore. If you are interested, please feel free to subscribe, and I hope to see you soon in one of the next videos in the coming days.